This segment of the news is brought to you by Finance of America. For all your mortgage needs, call Amy Childress or Shannon Keller at 702-372-6607.
Welcome back. 32-year-old Thomas Virgil Roper from Tonopah has been arrested for domestic battery with strangulation, false imprisonment, and possession of drug paraphernalia, as well as ex-felon failing to register. According to police, Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies responded to an address in the Tonopah apartments for a report of a domestic battery in progress. It was reported that a nearby neighbor could hear a male and female screaming from a home. Upon arriving, Nye County Sheriff's deputies heard the female saying she couldn't breathe, coming from inside the apartment. Deputies then forced entry into the residence and detained Thomas Roper without incident. Let's find out what's going on this week in the courtroom.
In this week's court report, the woman arrested in connection to the stabbing of an elderly woman at a residence on North Barney Street is now out on OR after making a plea deal. Lila Mabel Ashmore pleaded no contest and will be sentenced next year. The male suspect in this case, David Metcalf, previously pleaded not guilty and has been given a trial start date of April 4th, 2017 to face a total of 10 charges, including attempted murder with use of a deadly weapon and abuse of an older person. Police say Ashmore was present during the attack and lied to investigators to cover up the crimes committed by Metcalf. Ashmore's sentencing is set for February 6th, 2017. Metcalf remains in custody and has a calendar call on February 27th, 2017. The local man who ordered his pit bull to attack his girlfriend after he reportedly punched her in the face has pleaded guilty as part of a plea agreement. Jacob Noel, despite court officials calling him a repeat offender, has also been released on OR, but with the following conditions: no alcohol, drugs, adverse contact with law enforcement, or contact with a domestic violence victim out of a justice court case. And Noel must also submit to random testing through the drug court. Noel remains in custody and will be sentenced on December 16th. Sentencing has been continued for the man who led area police on a high-speed chase of up to 60 miles an hour after allegedly kidnapping his ex-girlfriend. Johnny Lachez pleaded guilty to one count of eluding a peace officer with endangerment. He was accused of kidnapping his ex back on March 29th, taking her car, cell phone, and other belongings, then leading authorities in hot pursuit a few days later. Lachez's subsequent police chase resulted in a single vehicle rollover on Happy Lane between Charleston Park and Highway 372 after a police chase. The 30-year-old suspect was the only occupant in the vehicle and sustained multiple injuries. Lachez remains in custody with his sentencing in district court now scheduled on November 14th. The man and woman who were facing several charges, including burglary and an offense involving a stolen vehicle and property and home invasion, both had their cases set for dismissal after their pretrial hearing. Rick Henriksen and Marissa Weatherholt were accused in the theft of multiple items from a home on West Hardy. Weatherholt reportedly admitted to taking the items. Henriksen allegedly fled the scene in a vehicle stolen out of Pahrump. Now, pursuant to negotiations surrounding his pretrial hearing, Henriksen will plead guilty, and this matter is to be dismissed. Likewise, pursuant to negotiations in her case, Weatherholt will also plead guilty, and her matter is to be dismissed. This has been your court report. I'm Eunette Gentry for News 46.
Thanks so much, Eunette. The crash victims from yesterday afternoon on Highway 160 in Las Vegas were German tourists, ages 72 and 78 years old, according to police. Nevada Highway Patrol are investigating the report by the dump truck driver that his brakes didn't work properly and that his truck carrying a Bobcat tractor and trailer wouldn't stop before smashing into two other vehicles. One of the cars reportedly was a sedan and the other a motorhome driven by the elderly couple. The dump truck driver and occupants in the sedan were treated at local hospitals. The occupants of the motorhome were pronounced deceased on scene. Highway 160 was closed for many hours following the crash to complete the investigation and to remove debris and vehicles from the roadway.
Legislators are in a special session they hope to get some progress on by tonight. At the Nevada State Capitol, the public weighed in on the proposal to use public money in the form of tax dollars to help build a stadium in Las Vegas for a football team to come. Some say it's a huge tax increase, yet others say it will increase tourism and bring money to the state. If the state decides to build the stadium, the Raiders say they will make Southern Nevada their new home.
More local news right after the break.